Alright, so I decided to be like a reaction channel. So I'm gonna react to my best friend copies everything I do, but I made her regret it by here's my story. I did not ask for information, but I will leave the link in the description. I might watch some more by here's my story, but yeah, this is the channel. Yeah, you get the point. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna just do the video. Okay, first reaction.
Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Chris.
Why I'm doing the Here's My Story channel instead of like My Story Animated is because everyone reacts to My Story Animated. I've only seen one person do Here's My Story.
When my best friend Bonnie saw me at school, she yelled, "But you said you were going to dye your hair black. You lied to me. It's red." I didn't ask her why she was mad because I already had a guess.
Why?
Bonnie was my best friend. The other day, I told her I was going to dye my hair black. She copied me to a T, so she went to the salon right after school and got her hair dyed black.
Nobody asked me to react to this, I just wanted to.
Meanwhile, I had changed my mind at the salon and dyed it red.
Ooh.
When Bonnie saw the color of my hair, she was mad, so she refused to talk to me all day. What happened next? When Bonnie came to school the next day, she had red hair. As if nothing happened, she said, "I dyed my hair red. How does it look?" She was a day late, but still managed to copy me.
Disgusting.
I was annoyed, but didn't say anything. Bonnie and I had been friends for 6 years. She wasn't like this in the beginning, but in the last couple of years, she started to copy me. I didn't
Your hairs
say
don't look
anything
at
in
all
order to
similar.
protect our friendship, but she
Neither
overdid
do your
it.
nose.
She was copying pretty much everything I did. For example, she used to hate K-pop. She would tease me when I listened to it, but then she started listening to nothing but K-pop. She even said she would get a BTS tattoo on her arm when she turned 18. And she never used to wear pants. I always wear pants, so she would mock me and say, "You'll grow a beard one day." But as you can guess, now she only wears pants.
Wow.
I can give you so many other examples, but
maybe she just wants to be like her best friend, okay?
Get what I mean. I have to admit, in the beginning, I thought it was cute that she was copying me. She was my best friend after all. But with time, she started to go overboard and shamelessly copy everything about me, from my favorite foods and hobbies to how I speak.
What if she just hates these foods? What if she hates these foods and is like, so good! 5 minutes later.
And my Instagram posts. I tried to confront her several times, but she always denied it. So finally, I decided to accept her as she is. Bonnie and I spend evenings texting each other. One evening, she stopped responding to my texts. I figured she'd call me when she was available, so I didn't make much of it. Then I was scrolling Instagram while brushing my teeth before bed. I went into total shock when I saw the photo on my feed. Bonnie and my crush, Lucas, had been to the movies. They took a selfie together, and Lucas wrote a lit movie
hell
night.
No.
I looked at the photo again. I couldn't believe it. My best friend was on a date with my crush. The weird part was that Bonnie liked someone else, but she went out with Lucas only because I liked him and because she wanted to copy me.
She probably thinks that
I was so frustrated that I began crying. My grandmother lives with us and our rooms are adjacent. She came to my room when she heard me crying. She sat down with me and asked, "Is it Bonnie again?" I had told her the things that Bonnie did. I nodded, yes, and she really upset me
Something
this time.
that I've noticed is that
when my grandmother said,
whatever
"I
emotion that they're feeling, whenever they speak, their mouth is always smiling.
Grandma, she's my best friend. She's not a bad person. Friends can copy each other. But unfortunately, Bonnie does it a little too much. But I still don't want to punish her." She replied, "I know she's a good girl, but I also know I could teach her a small lesson without hurting her. And I'm sure you're going to get a kick out of what I'm going to do." Then she left.
What's she gonna do?
I wasn't too happy with Grandma getting involved, but a small lesson couldn't hurt, right? Otherwise, she would escalate this copying thing, and we might have to call it quits at some point.
I'll be staring at their nose
holding a small
and hair
bottle with clear liquid inside.
That's the only thing that actually is different.
Giving me the bottle, she said, "Make sure Bonnie drinks half of this, then drink the rest yourself." Curious, I asked what it would do. Grandma giggled and said, "If everything goes as planned, she will never copy you again. I won't tell you what will happen when you drink this. Think of it as a surprise." I invited Bonnie over the next day. We would usually hang out at one of our houses after school, so it didn't seem out of the ordinary. We were chilling in my room as usual.
Your
At some
your
point,
grandma's
I went
gonna
to the
drug
kitchen
you.
saying I would get us some
Run.
snacks. I made us 2 sandwiches and poured 2 half glasses of juice. My heart was racing when I filled the rest of the glasses up with Grandma's mystery liquid. I was so curious to see what was going to happen. I put it all on a tray and went back to my room. Bonnie was complaining about one of our teachers. She took a big bite out of the sandwich, then she chugged the juice. I grabbed the other juice and drank it up too. Suddenly,
And you
there
say
was a
she's
white
like, "I'll be
flash
done."
of light inside the room.
Ah!
We were dazzled by
My room's pitch black. What the hell was that
the
for?
intensity of the light. When things went back to normal, I stared at Bonnie in amazement. She
What?
was also stunned. She held out her arms in front of her. Then she stood up and examined her pants.
Oh,
She said, "Kristen, what's going on? Why am I wearing your clothes?" Then she looked at my clothes. Her eyes widened when she realized what I was wearing. "And when did you put my clothes on? What's going on? How did we switch outfits?" I realized what Grandma had done. I reached for the mirror on the table and turned it towards Bonnie. She screamed when she looked in the mirror.
you
She
shocked
yelled,
bodies?
"How is this possible? Why does my face look like yours? Kristen, why does your face look like mine?" Grandma had cast a body-switching spell on
Hell
us.
no.
The elixir I mixed
Nah,
into
nah,
our
nah,
juice
nah,
gave
your
my
grandma's not a
body and
witch.
my face to Bonnie, and vice versa. Our bodies had been switched. This was really fun, just like my grandmother had said. Laughing, I said, "My dear friend, you should be happy. You know how you always copied me? Now you don't have to do that because we switched bodies.
Are their eyebrows
you
different?
are me and I am you." Bonnie was still
Yeah,
trying to
they
figure
are.
it out.
They are.
After closely looking at her face in the mirror, she turned to me, bewildered. She asked, "Kristen, how did you do this?"
Look at her smug ass face. I hate her. I want
Smiling,
to
I
punch her.
replied, "I didn't. My grandma did." "Your grandma? Mrs. Miller did this?" She
Mrs.
was
Miller?
in shock. I began to explain to Bonnie our family's biggest secret.
My grandma.
great-great-great-grandmother was a witch.
Hell.
As the war against
Okay, that's
witches was
probably
being
real.
waged in Europe, she found a way to escape from Spain to America. She never practiced witchcraft again, but wrote down all the spells she knew about. This handwritten manuscript was handed down from generation to generation. Right now, my grandma has it. She hates witchcraft, but sometimes she uses spells to overcome minor issues we face.
All
That's
right.
why she cast a body-switching spell on us. You don't need to copy me anymore because this spell turned you into Kristen. Bonnie began to cry. "I'm so sorry.
It's
Yes,
probably
I
gonna
was
end at
copying
dusk.
you, but this is too much. I don't want to be exactly like you. I want to live with my own family in my own home, in my own room, but I can't go there in this body. They wouldn't believe me even if I told them. They'd think I lost my mind. I promise I will never copy you again. I see now how silly I've been. Please help me. I want my body back."
Bippity boppity
I was
boom.
sad to see her so upset. I asked, "What about Lucas? Are you going to date him or anyone else I like?"
Nah.
She answered, "Of course not.
That was
You're
such a
right.
bad
I
voice
went out
crack.
with him because I was copying you, which was so wrong. I'll never do it again." She looked in the mirror again. "From now on, I'm going to be myself. It's so pathetic to copy someone else. Please ask your grandma to reverse the spell. I want my own face back." At that moment, my grandmother appeared out of nowhere in a cloud of mist. I was used to
the
her doing that, but Bonnie screamed. Laughing, my grandma said, "I've been here the whole time, honey. I had to come and see if the body switching spell worked.
It
But
didn't
you
work.
two couldn't see me because I was invisible." Then she turned to Bonnie. "Bonnie, I know you're a good person, but some of the things you did upset my granddaughter. I wanted to help her out with my spells. I hope you're not too angry with me, but as far as I can tell, you figured out what you were doing wasn't quite right." Bonnie replied, "I definitely did, Mrs. Miller. Please reverse the spell. I want to go back to my own body." Grandma took another small bottle out of her pocket, opened it, and said, "Just smell this elixir to reverse the body-switching spell." The smell was lovely. Bonnie and I both took a whiff. There
I
was
took my
another
own
flash
piss.
of light in the room. When things
Stop
went back to
doing
normal,
that!
Bonnie looked at me. She screamed, "Kristen, you're you!" She grabbed the mirror and looked at her reflection, then screamed,
How long
"Yay,
is left?
I'm me again!" Honestly, I was very happy to return to my own face and body, too. Bonnie and I hugged each other. Bonnie
Is this
turned to
cho-
Grandma
okay,
and
I thought-
said, Mrs. Miller, thank you for the lesson you taught me. Also, I have to say that you being a witch is so cool. Grandma smiled and said, I'm not a witch, honey. Witchcraft is banned in our family.
I'm a
I just
bitch.
happen to have a book of spells. Years ago, our family mutually decided to take out all the pages containing black magic spells and burn them, which means we couldn't become witches even if we wanted to. Then she asked for Bonnie's hand. Bonnie held out her hand and Grandma took it. She closed her eyes and said, Valese release extremis. Valese release diatremes. Then she opened her eyes and explained, Honey, I know we can trust you, but still, this is the biggest secret of our family. That's why I cast a secret-keeping spell on you. Even if you tell anyone about this spell, that person will instantly forget what you told them. They will never be able to retain the memory of it. Bonnie squealed, This is the coolest thing ever. I love it. We
Dog,
all
my
started
headphones
to
are
laugh.
bugging out.
If it hadn't been for my grandmother,
Okay.
I could have lost my best friend.
Shut up. We got I hired a body double. I became a millionaire. I'm a 15-year-old girl, but that one seems interesting. I got exposed. What? Okay, I'm gonna pick. That's not what I was gonna pick. Wait, let me just get that video. This one's called I'm a 15-year-old girl, but I look like I'm 60.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Here's My
Hannah
Story
Roberts.
channel. My name is Sadie. I'm 15
Okay,
years
sorry.
old. Yes, 15. Obviously, I'm aware that I look like I'm 60, but I'm still a teenager.
You look like my grandma.
The reason I look old is because I have a very rare genetic
I'm not
disorder.
watching this. I'm
We
sorry.
all-
Hi.
Video changed. I'm sorry. I was not watching that. Here's my story. I Cry Real Pearls full movie.
Stella. My family is very wealthy. We live in a highly
Wait, what's your
secure-
name?
Hi, I'm Stella.
Okay.
My family is very wealthy. We live in a
Wait, you're not
highly
gonna say welcome to the Here's My Story channel?
secure villa outside the city.
Okay.
People think that we are rich because my dad invests in stocks, but this is a lie that my parents
Stonks.
made up. Actually, my dad hasn't worked since the day I was born. So where did we get all this money? From my crying. You heard that right. Because every time I cry, in addition to tears, a pearl comes out.
Shut up.
Yes, just one
It doesn't
pearl
happen.
every time. But since it's a high-quality pearl, it's worth $25,000. As you see,
I'm
every
kidnapping
time
you
I
for
cry,
ransom.
I make a small fortune for my family. In nature, pearls are produced by oysters. When something enters the oyster through its shell, it secretes a fluid to protect itself. It coats the uninvited guest with this fluid
See?
and renders
Facts,
it
Stella.
harmless. In time, the fluid hardens and becomes a pearl. Pearls are a wonder of nature. They are very rare, and that's why they are extremely expensive. So why do I cry pearls? I don't know. I asked my mother about it once. She said, we discovered you were crying pearls when you were a baby. We were obviously very surprised and we wanted to know why. But if we had asked our doctors or scientists about it, your secret would have come out. For your safety, we decided not to tell anyone. For all we know, this is a miracle. Miracles do happen, and we witness them. That's all. They are worried about the mob kidnapping me if anyone finds out. I'm scared too.
Okay,
That's
sorry.
why
What
I
happened was that, they just don't want her to get kidnapped.
follow every rule my family has put in place to keep
But
my
I'm gonna
secret
find her
safe.
and kidnap
For
her.
example, I never leave home by myself. I've never been to school. I'm being homeschooled.
What?
I don't use social media. When I was younger, I wasn't even allowed to go online. Thankfully, my family trusts me enough to use the internet now. I know that my life is boring, but I can honestly say that I'm happy. The only thing that upsets me is that I have no friends.
No
I have a
boyfriend.
cousin, Cecilia, who is my age. She visits us once or twice a year with my aunt and uncle. She's the only person I can call my friend, but I don't particularly like her. Whenever we hang
Yeah,
out,
she's a
she
bitch.
always complains about everything I have. She says, your house is too big. Ours looks like a chicken coop. You have amazing clothes. I have to wear all this cheap stuff. It's not fair. Yes,
Dog, I'm
they're
living
not
in
very
Harry
well
Potter
off,
dream.
but
Shut
according
up.
to my dad, it's their own fault. My dad told me the only reason they ever visit is to ask for money. Once I gave them $30,000. They went straight to Vegas. They stayed at the most expensive hotel. They gambled from dusk till dawn. They lost everything in a week and then came back home. Cecilia also steals stuff
Dumbasses.
from my room whenever she comes over. She starts going through my things as soon as she is alone in the room. If she likes something, she puts it in her bag. Once one of my rings and a pair of sunglasses went missing.
Just
The
buy
next time
another.
she came to visit, she was wearing both the sunglasses and the ring. Even though I couldn't believe she had the nerve to show up like that, I couldn't say anything. Normally, when Cecilia
Why
and
do
her
these
family
people
come
have
over, they
mean
stay for a few
noses?
hours and then leave. But that night, her mom said, "We had a little too much wine at dinner. We really shouldn't drive. Why don't we stay over?" My mom had to say yes, even though she didn't love the idea. If that weren't enough, Cecilia said, "Let's have a slumber party," and said we could sleep together in my bed. Before we went to bed, she said, "We can't have a slumber party without milk and cookies." I thought, why did this girl suddenly start acting like she's my best friend? I would find out.
There's leukemia. No, not leukemia. What is it called? What's the thing? What's the drug called that like knocks people out again? Ketamine? No. I'll think about it.
Soon enough. When I woke up, I had a terrible headache.
What the
My uncle, aunt, and Cecilia were standing in front of me. Cecilia said, "We know where your money comes from.
Melatonin.
Now it's our turn. You will make us rich." I said to myself,
What the hell?
"Don't cry. Don't give these horrible people what they want." But at the same time, I was shaking with fear.
Punch 'em.
My eyes involuntarily welled up. My aunt got really excited. "She's going to cry."
Kick your uncle in the
she
balls!
Said, "Let's see if what she wrote in her diary is true. Does she really cry pearls?" That's when everything became clear. I told you I was sad about not having any friends. That's why 3 months ago I started keeping a diary. I was writing
dumb
down
bitch.
everything I wanted to tell a friend. Apparently, Cecilia had
Dumbass.
been looking for something to swipe from my room again. That's how she must have found my diary. I had written about crying pearls. Obviously, Cecilia had told her parents, and they decided to kidnap me.
Idiot.
I turned to Cecilia. "You put something in my milk last night, didn't you?"
This is your
I
own
asked.
fault.
Her mom was the one who replied, "2 huge sleeping pills. I have insomnia and I can't sleep without taking those pills. Finally, something good came out of this damn disease," she said, belting out a laugh. Then she looked down into my eyes. "I thought you were about to cry. Relax. You can cry as much as you want while you're with us."
Don't cry.
My uncle said, "You wrote in your diary that a single pearl is worth $25,000. A pearl
We
must
know.
be huge. How does it come out of your eye?"
I
looked
actually
at him
don't
with
know.
contempt. "It's not the size of the pearl that determines its price, it's the quality," I said. He didn't like my attitude. "I can't wait to see that glorious pearl. When are you gonna cry? If you don't cry soon, we'll have to make you." I felt like I was about to break down any second, but somehow I managed to keep it together. I was determined not to give them what they wanted.
They can't beat
We were
you.
next to a house in the middle of
They
the
can't
woods.
beat the tears out of
My
you.
aunt grabbed me by the arm and led me inside. Cecilia followed us. We entered a room. Cecilia said, "It's no secret that I've always been jealous of you. Now I'm even more jealous. In fact, I hate you for being so special. Thankfully, you'll
Shut
be our
up.
servant from now on. Thanks to you, we'll be rich.
No.
I'm happy to make you cry if you can't do it on your own."
I'll
Very
leave a link
calmly,
to
I
both
said,
these videos
"No,
in the
I'm not going to
description.
cry. Whatever you do, you won't be able to make me cry. My dad must have called the police. I'm sure they're looking for us as we speak." Cecilia said mockingly, "Your parents keep you at home at all times. I wonder why. They must be very scared for the secret to come out. You know very well that they won't go to the police." My aunt said, "When we come back to this room, we want to see at least one of those pearls. Otherwise, we won't be responsible for what might happen to you," and slammed the door. Then she
Uh-oh.
locked it. I
Scary.
was wondering what my parents were doing. Cecilia was right. They couldn't have called the police. Even if they did, it was highly unlikely that the police would find us. We were deep in the woods. I was feeling really awful. I really wanted to cry. I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I couldn't help it. As always, a pearl came out of my eye and dropped to the ground. I picked it up. It looked gorgeous. Crying pearls was obviously a blessing, but it was also a curse. I couldn't stop myself. I started sobbing. Another pearl came out. That's when I realized something. The worse I felt, the more beautiful the pearl. These ones were so much smoother than any pearl I'd cried before.
Damn!
They were glistening. I couldn't give these up. I put them in my mouth. All I could think of was to swallow them. At that moment, the door opened. Cecilia came in. Seeing me, she yelled, "Mom, come quick! Her eyes are red! She cried!" I decided not to swallow the pearls. I had an idea. I opened my mouth and made sure Cecilia saw them. She called her parents again, even louder this time. "Mom, Dad, She cried 2 pearls, but they're in her mouth. Come here now! My aunt and uncle came running into the room. I opened my mouth and showed them the pearls. Then I pointed with my finger, first to my throat, then to my stomach. They all froze. She means she's going to swallow them!
Swallow
Cecilia
'em.
screamed. I nodded. She understood what I was saying. This time I pointed at the door. Cecilia turned to her parents. What are we going to do? She's threatening us with swallowing the pearls, she said. What do you want? Do you think we'll let you go? My aunt said threateningly. My uncle stopped his wife. Stop. She's holding $50,000 in her mouth right now. Those are our pearls. Don't let them go to waste. He pulled out his phone.
Actually,
He
it's
dialed
probably
a number.
100,000.
He showed me the phone screen and saw that he was video calling my parents. They went crazy when they saw me. My mom was so excited. She said, Honey, are you okay? It was your uncle who did it, wasn't it? My dad
One
knew
second.
it was my uncle.
1 second. I'm gonna have to Google something. No, humans can't literally cry pearls. It's a biological function. Was that paused the entire time? Okay, so what happened is I Googled it. If that's not in the thing, I Googled, can you cry real pearls? It said, no, you can't. So then, the aunt's brother, this guy, Walter, came, okay? And he was meant to come tomorrow, but then he said, nah, I can't, because I want to see this Goose for the Golden Eggs. I'm not rewatching that.
Pearls? She replied, Yes, she really cries pearls. She just cried 2 of them in a row, but then she swallowed them both. Walter looked at
Oh
me
yeah,
with a
she
grin.
swallowed them, if that didn't
So,
happen.
you're a tough cookie. Fantastic. I spent half my life in jail. My specialty is helping people like you find the right path. I began shaking with fear. I almost started tearing up again, but I managed to hold it back. Walter turned to Cecilia. I need to
Cut
eat
onions.
something. I've been driving for 5 hours straight. If my dear niece wants to make her uncle a snack, I won't say no. Cecilia took her uncle's arm. We picked up some snacks on the way. Nibble on these for now. Soon we'll be eating only at the best restaurants anyway, she said. They were laughing as they left the room. My uncle glared at my aunt. Why did you call your brother? The man is a total pain in the neck. He shouldn't have known about this. She said, You do realize that we kidnapped someone, right? Do you think we can hide in this house forever? We need to get out of the country right away. Walter will help us cross the border. We should head over to Mexico first, and from there, we can go wherever we want, as long as we have this no-limit credit card with us. Walter and Cecilia came back grinning. Cecilia was holding half an onion. She said, We had a brilliant idea, and held the onion up to my face. How about a crying sash, my dear cousin? We found an easy way to make you cry.
I just said that.
When my eyes welled up, they all got really excited. I grimaced. Can you get that away from my face, please? I need to cry naturally for the pearls to form. That onion is only good for stinking up this room. My aunt screamed as if she had the best idea ever.
Punch her in the face!
Oh yeah, pull up a sentimental song. You remember that song that always makes me cry? Oh, what is it called? I'm not a crybaby like you, I said to her.
Toxic gossip
No
train.
song or movie can make me cry. But some of the songs I can sing can make you cry, Walter said, baring all of his teeth. They laughed. Walter continued in a calm voice. You don't have to worry. I'll take care of this tough girl. But first, let's drink up. We are in possession of a goose that lays golden eggs.
You said that already.
To celebrate that. Walter's words worked. They were in a good mood as they left the room. I laid down, feeling desperate. All of a sudden, I woke up to the sound of the door slamming. I
Oh, it's a
saw Walter
gunshot.
when I finally managed to get my eyes open. He was yelling,
What the hell?
Get up! Now! We're leaving!
What?
I was still having a hard time understanding what was happening. Walter grabbed my arm and led me out of the room. I looked inside the house. My uncle, aunt, and Cecilia were
killed
all
them all.
lying on the floor. What did you do to them? I screamed.
I killed him.
Don't worry, they're sleeping like babies. Then Walter pushed me outside. After hours of driving, we finally stopped. Walter got me out of the car, and we were in a place that looked like a garage. There were a lot of cars around.
What
and
the
4
hell
big
is going
guys.
on?
One of them pointed to a car that was parked right beside me and screamed, "Boss, you love a Mercedes? Look, we got a spectacular one!"
Ooh!
Without even looking at the car, he said, "Good job, but from now on, we won't have to steal cars. We'll have so much money on our hands thanks to her. You'll find out soon enough and thank me for the rest of your life," he growled. The guy with tattoos wasn't happy, but before he could say anything, Walter shoved me into a room. I'd never felt so scared in my life. I was fighting back tears, but then I couldn't. I started crying. A perfect pearl emerged out of my eye. Walter grabbed it before it fell to the ground. He was looking at it, fascinated. He was also very surprised.
What the hell?
He
It
mumbled
actually
to himself,
works!
"I'd never have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes." Then he looked at me. "You're the best thing that could ever happen to me. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Why should I share it with those idiots outside? You should be crying only for me. All these pearls must be mine," he said. He'd made up his mind. He grabbed my arm and dragged
I'm
me
actually
outside.
invested in this.
The men were staring at me in disbelief. Walter sensed that there was something going on. One of them said, "We saw everything from the security camera.
Yeah, I
Is that
seen
a
it.
real pearl that came out of the girl's eye?" Then he turned to me. "But how? How can you do that?" he asked. Pulling me towards the car, Walter yelled, "Nah, there's no such thing. That stuff only happens in fairy tales. You saw it wrong." I resisted Walter's pull and stopped him. I yelled back at them, "What you saw was real. I cry pearls. Each pearl is worth $25,000. If you stop him, I'll give you 40 pearls each. That makes $1 million per person." They hesitated for a second.
Punch him in
Then
the
they
face!
looked at each other.
Kick him in the...
The man in tattoos said, "Attack!" All hell broke loose. I stepped aside and watched everything go down. After a while, they tied Walter to a chair. He was out of breath. "I'm your boss. Let me go now. I'll give you
Shut up.
100 pearls each." I laughed. "You might have 100 pearls, but if you get caught, pearls won't help you out in prison. I won't tell the police about you. You can trust me. Every time I cry a pearl, it will go toward my debt to you," I said. Walter was about to say something, but the men put a gag in his mouth to keep him quiet. "You can go now. You'll hear from me soon," I said to them. I took out Walter's
What's 4 times 4? 16.
phone and called 911. The police
$60.
arrived shortly after. I asked them,
That's
"Will you
160
excuse me for a
pearls.
minute? I'll be back soon." I had to run to an empty room because I was about to shed some happy tears. When I started to cry, the most beautiful pearl that I'd ever seen in my life came out. I put the pearl in my pocket. I owed 160 pearls to the men who saved me, so
Yes,
I
thanks.
had 159 more to go. When I got back, Walter was telling the police, "Please believe me, this girl is crying pearls. Let me go. We can all be rich together." The policeman laughed at him. One of them said, "Yeah, and I'm crying diamonds." These guys are getting more and more creative to get themselves out of jail. The policeman had called my parents. Both of them were a mess when they arrived. My mom was crying. "Please don't hug me. Just get me out of here," I said. The police were surprised to see me act this way. Of course, there was a reason for it. If I had hugged my family, I would have immediately started crying, and then they would have realized Walter was telling the truth. I told my parents everything on the way home. I cried a few times as I was telling my story to them, so I got 5 more pearls on the ride
5
home.
more?
154 to go.
I know.
Currently, we live in a different country. I was against it at first, but my mom said,
Where do you live?
"We were the only ones who knew your secret until now, but today there are 8 other people who know you cry pearls."
Cecilia, Walter, the aunt, the uncle, and the 4 men.
"You have to do this for your safety. We need to get away from here." I had to agree. I can't tell you where we live now, but
Oh, come
I
on.
can tell you that we are doing really well. I did pay my debt to those guys that saved me. And because they were mostly happy tears, the pearls that came out were all perfect too. I'm sure they sold them for more than $25,000. Because I owe my life to them, I sent them 10 more pearls each as a bonus.
Oh, damn.
I'm sure you're curious to know what happened to my uncle, Aunt,
They
and
got her.
Cecilia. I really don't know. The last time I saw them was as I was leaving the cabin in the forest. They were sleeping soundly because of the sleeping pills. We never heard from them again. Maybe they got scared of getting caught by the police.
Alright. I would react to another one, but I'm not doing a 40-minute video.